Yes, how are you? This week is Parshas Re'ei. The Pasuk tells us, Re'ei noichi noisen lefnechem hayim bruchu eklulu. Hashem is saying, see that I will be giving to you blessing and the opposite, which is curse. And it says, Esa bruchu asher tishmi, the bruchu you should hear, el mitzvahs Hashem alekaichem. If you're going to hear the mitzvahs from Hashem, meaning whatever Hashem is talking to you, then it will be for you bracha, blessing. Then it says, V'haklala, the curse, im lo yisishmi, if you will not listen to it, you would not listen to Hashem's mitzvahs, what He's speaking to you and told you, the Teyag mitzvahs, the Torah, and whatever is pertaining to you in particular. And v'sartem and aderech means that you will go off path, and you will go under different gods, that you don't know them. So it's in general, this week's parsha has a lot of ways how you're supposed to be connected to Hashem, how your life is really working and your everything together. So first I will ask and tell you what the Nesiv Shalom is asking, and lots of others also, and we'll be working around that. I always ask Hashem what I usually speak to when I give out the message is what really inspires me and what talks to me, and I ask Hashem and I try to see if this is what I should give out the message, also to inspire others in the Jewish nation and all over. So the Nesiv Shalom asks a question. First of all, when you say Re'ei, is something seeing a bracha and a klala, a blessing and a curse, how do you see? Then it says nois and giving. Is that something that I can give from your hand to my hand? And he also points out that it says in the pasuk a few times, Hayom. And it says, Eschem Hayom. Excuse me. Hayom. So he's answering that the Yisod HaAvodah B'Shem Da'ari HaKodesh says, excuse me, that there is no Eine Doime Udam L'Udam, meaning two people are not the same. Meaning Hashem created two people, they're not the same. They're not here meant to do the same things, and they're not here to copy each other. They're here for a reason. They're here something that Hashem wants from you. So when he's saying Re'ei, see means actually seeing from your third eye, not from your two eyes, but from the third eye. And that is connected to Das, which Hashem gives us, Chachma bin Das. And we know Das is something that connects. That's the way the Torah teaches. Connects to who? Connects to Hashem. When we ask every day, what do we really want? We want to connect to Hashem. Whatever we need Das for business and for connection, or to deal with the children, to deal with the spouse, or to deal with everything, even that Das you need is also the underlining factor is the Das, is the connection that everything will bring you how Hashem wants. We see that by Adam and Chava. Adam says he knew Das as Chava. It means that's the connection, and that's what Hashem wants, to be one, and everything one goes back up to Hashem. So we see that Re'ei means seeing really what's out there for you. Hayom means your tafkid and not someone else's. And Bracha Klala and means that it's not that, because Hashem could have said, listen, if you're going to do this, I'll give you a blessing. If not, I'm punishing you. It doesn't work that way. That's not the way the system. Yes, we call it Skar V'Yoinish. However, it's cause and effect. Hashem is telling us, if you're going to listen to me, what is pertaining to you, meaning some people have a mitzvah of Gimlas Chesodim, some people have a mitzvah of tzedakah, some people, it doesn't mean that we all have those mitzvahs, but somebody is specialized in this chesed, Gimlas Chesed, in this Gimlas Chesed. It doesn't mean that the rest of the Torah is neglected. It means you have that tafkid. So automatically that brings down bracha, because that's the way Hashem put up the system in the world through the spheres and everything. If you're doing this, this is going to happen. Now, also realize that the pasuk is saying Asher Tishmi, that you're constantly hearing. Hashem is talking to you on a constant basis. Vaklole im lo yisishmi, because it's only a im if you want, because normally a person knows, and we all were by Bar Sinai and Har Sinai, we heard Hashem telling us everything, and it's ingrained, and we didn't fall off of trees. It's our ancestors, so we're coming, and we belong to Nevi'im, B'nai Nevi'im, and our ancestors going back all the way up to Moshe Rabbeinu. Just v'haklalam im lo yisishmi is something that is just a secondary thing. We know Hashem says, I know that you know. And that's why the das and the riyah, meaning the connection, that you all know it. It's ingrained in you. You know that. It's only if you're going to go after different gods. Now, different gods doesn't mean that we're talking about in third world countries or what used to be once upon a time different gods. Gods means if somebody starts not believing it even in himself, as Reb Tzedek Cohen says, or this is the thing, or that's the thing, or I have all these challenges and I cannot, or I had this trauma and I cannot listen to God, I don't hear God. That is painful, not to say that, but as the Heilige Baal HaTanya tells us, that we're here for the challenge, and that is the reason why we're here. And the Torah this week, I have counted, according to my count, there's 11 times just the word bracha in the Torah. The Torah is giving us so much bracha, and the Torah tells us to be happy. In this week's parsha itself, so many times, and also says we should be connected to Hashem, B'tidbaken, not only to listen, but connection. There's so many things that Hashem tells us how to connect to Him. Now, when a person, and what does it? Rashi says connection here means that there is a, as Hashem is a Gemilas Chesadim, and He does good, that is the nature of Hashem. He only does good. And we have to believe that and feel that. So how do you feel that? If you see it, and what do you see? And the Nashivas Shalom asks actually this question: how do we know that people don't know what is their tafkid? What is my purpose of life? Whatever comes into your life, let's say, for example, you have a challenge in business, you have a challenge with a spouse, you have a challenge with a child, any challenge, that Hashem says, that is exactly where your tikkun is. And it means that what you have nothing, that's why what you have nothing to do with someone else. As the great tzaddik of Karmarna, he was a Talmud of the Chosef in Lublin, says a very powerful thing. He says that our nefesh, we are put together, our souls, from three parts, nefesh, riach, and neshama. And he says neshama, he breaks it down where the nefesh goes and the riach goes. Then our neshama is broken down into our kids. And kids means the little children, also whatever you created. Let's say you created something that is an organization. You created your own Chiddush in Torah. You created anything, or you've done something, that is where your neshama is. So we have a lot of neshamas out there. We're not only a human being, we are more than, meaning we are a human being, but more than that, we shine out to the world, and we have lots of connections going out into the world. And if someone has a challenge, for example, with a child, know that that's your neshama. And even if it's not going in the path, know that that is your job. And the way Hashem wants us, and all the Chassidus and Kabbalah teaches us, is to, and it's a higher opportunity to serve God from ahava, which means love, versus yira, which is awe. Even though we need both, awe, especially in younger children and younger adults, if they're going to have the awe that our great-grandfathers had, they will be scared from Hashem. They'll be scared from Judaism. They will not come close. The only way to get them close is through ahava, through love. And we say lipshaft, we say from closeness. And that's what Hashem gave us at Mount Sinai and Har Sinai. That's what He gave us. And that's what's ingrained in us. So these two things. We all have our inner child in us, that we have to love ourselves and know who we are, and see our challenges and see all that is throwing us off the path. That exactly there, that's also where it's bringing down from tzaddikim. If somebody wants to know what is this path, exactly where the struggle is, that's where you're supposed to bring it back into path. That's what Hashem wants. Hashem created this world perfectly imperfect in order for us to help him in creation, that we have part of creation to go back into path. Hashem should bless us with all the blessings that this week says in the Torah, us and our children, and we should find our inner souls and our neshamas, and we should be able to bring and shine our own light that we all have. Good Shabbos.